Now as we get into our bent leg kicks, the main difference between these kicks are going to be between a knee position and action of the kick. So let's start with snap kick. We're going to start from our walking stance. 1 foot back, my hips are squared, my hands are up. This is snap kick, so I lift my knee and point it at my target, and then I extend my foot from my knee using the front of my leg. I'll do one facing this way. Lift the knee and extend the foot, and then put your foot back. We're going to do 5 of those, so follow with me. Ready? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Remember to key up on that last kick. Switch. Make sure you're still square. Back leg, snap kick. I lift the knee out and back and set it down. 5 of them. Ready? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Remember, key up on the last one, and then return to chumbi. Now in our snap kick, I'd like to talk about the parts of the foot that we're using in this strike, as well as the targets that we're aiming for. So I'll bring my partner out here. The first part of the foot I want to talk about is the instep. It's right where the shoelaces are on my foot, the very top of the foot. This is used for striking surfaces that I'm kicking up, like for example, the groin. I can point my toe and hit with the very top part of that foot. Coming around the foot, now if I'm wearing shoes, I can kick with the toe. Otherwise, if you're barefoot, you kick with the ball of the foot. That's right here behind the toe. Example, if I want to kick him in the stomach, I'd kick him with the ball of the foot. If I wanted to get him away from me, I can use the whole flat part of my foot and push him away. Coming up a little bit higher to the head or even to the solar plexus, I could actually use the heel of that foot to make that strike happen. So those are the targets mainly that we're looking for. There's other targets we could use, but that's also the main parts of the foot that we're striking with. The back kick shares the same knee position as our snap kick, only the action is different. We're sending it behind us. So if I start from my walking stance, my hips are nice and squared up. I'm going to lift my knee in front of me just like a snap kick. Only then I'm going to look over my shoulder, send my foot behind me, retrieve it, and return to my walking stance. From the side so you can see that better, as I lift my knee, I'm going to look over my shoulder. I send the foot back and retrieve it, return to my guard stance. Let's try 5 of these. Ready? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Remember, key up that last kick. Switch. Make sure we're squared up. Lift the knee. Look over the shoulder. 5 of them. 1, 2, 3, 4. One more, key up. 5. Return to chumbi. Now with the back kick, there's really only 2 positions of my foot that I'm going to be using. One is going to be my heel, or the other is just the bottom of my foot. So when I bring my opponent out here, if he's sneaking up behind me, you see how his position is. I want this to strike right on his center line. Really though, I'm not going to lift this kick very high. It's going to come out either stomach or groin. Now with the back kick, the toes are pointing straight down. So you're going to see that when I do it, that kick that way, it goes right between the legs. It fits there nicely rather than having the leg stop it. If I bring that up higher, striking with my heel, the heel is striking right up into the solar plexus, which is going to knock the wind out of them. Better watch out because they might throw up on your shoes. The roundhouse kick shares a similar knee position and action to the snap kick. Difference is snap kick is going straight up and down, whereas my roundhouse kick is going side to side. It's making that inside action. So if I start from my walking stance, break this down for you, I'm lifting my knee just like it's a snap kick. Only now when I extend my foot, I'm going to turn my hip. I call this dog peas on fire hydrant. My knee's pointing straight at the target and I'm lifting my foot sideways, and then here's this action just like my snap kick, coming from the knee and the top of the leg. When I'm done, I rechamber and I set back to my walking stance. So I'll do this to the side, so hopefully you can see this pretty well. From my walking stance, I lift the knee, turn my foot out and back, return to my walking stance. 5 of these. Now I can take a shortcut. I can turn my knee while I lift it. So 5 of these. Follow me. Ready? 1. Hip. And back. 2. Shh. 3. Shh. 4. Shh. 1 more. Key up. 5. Hip. And then switch. 5 more. 1. Hip. Keep your hands up. 2. Hip. 3. Shh. 4. Shh. 5. Hip. Back to your ready stance. With our roundhouse kick, the main portion of our foot that we're striking with is the shin or instep. So right up from the bottom of my shin to where my shoelaces are. Otherwise, the ball of the foot. If I'm kicking to the stomach, someplace nice and soft, I can actually use the toe of my shoe to kick him right in the stomach. So just to show you, things like if I'm kicking to the leg, I can point my toe and kick right into that muscly part of the leg. His elbow's right here. I would want to really be careful about kicking to where that elbow's at, because that could break my foot. However, coming up to the head, I can still point that toe and make that strike. Really good for point sparring if you're going for 2 points. If I switch to the other side, you'll see how he's facing me with his shoulder forward. If I pull my foot back and point my toe into his belly, that's going to penetrate right through his muscles, knock the wind out of him. Again, careful, because he might throw up on your shoes. The side kick also shares a similar knee position to the snap kick. It is a little different. The action is much different. Just to give the idea of why it's called a side kick, if I lifted my knee like I was going to do a snap kick, I'm going to send it sideways instead of forward. Where this becomes different is where I'm doing this from my guard stance. I got to turn my front foot so that I can lift my knee to the side. I want to show you my side. I push the foot out and back, and then I can retrieve it back to my walking stance. I'll do this from the side. You'll notice I turn my foot and lift my knee, push it out and back, and then return to my walking stance. Let's do 5 of them. Ready? 1. Hip. 2. 3. 4. 1 more. Key up. 5. Hip. And then switch. Remember to stay low in that switch. Other side. Turn your foot. 1. Hip. 2. 3. 4. 1 more. Key up. 5. Hit! Back to Chimbi. For the side kick, we're mainly striking with the bottom of the foot. 3 different places of the bottom of the foot. I'll bring my opponent out here. So if I'm kicking to the knee or to the stomach, I could use the very bottom of my foot. Especially if I want to push him away, I could use the bottom of my foot, get lots of surface area there. Kicking into the rib, I can actually turn my foot and hit with just the edge of it, and it's going to penetrate more into the ribs. So just hitting with basically the knife edge of my foot. I can also bring this right up underneath the chin, to knock his head back. Can be a really good knockout, especially if he's squaring up to you. If he's really squaring up to you, I can actually strike with just the heel of my foot right into his stomach, knocking the wind at him. Again, be careful of your shoelaces. The hook kick shares the same knee position as the side kick. Main difference, instead of pressing it out, is my foot's gonna bend on the action of the kick like a hook. So I'm gonna start from my walking stance, get to that same chamber position. I gotta turn my front foot and lift the knee. Now I'm gonna press the foot next to the target and then bend my knee to bring it back to my guard stance. I'll show you from the side. Turn the front foot, lift the knee, hook the foot, and then return to your walking stance. Let's do 5 of them. Ready? 1, hit. 2, shh. 3, shh. 4, shh. Key up on the last one. 5, hit. Switch your feet. 1, turn your foot, lift your knee, hook, and back. 2, shh. 3, shh. 4, shh. Key up on the last one. 5, hit. Return to your knee. With the hip kick, there's mainly one part of the foot that you're using. That's the hardest part of the foot, which is the back of the heel. So different things, if he's facing me, go ahead and switch your feet. If he's facing me from this stance and I want to strike him in the stomach, I can bring my foot around and that hook's right around his legs and back of that heel goes right into his stomach. Again, watch out for your shoelaces. If he switched his feet, if I want to kick to the head with most kicks, you'll see how this hand is in the way. But if I'm able to get this foot up to the head, I can actually hook right around that and hit him right in the head while my knee bends. If he happens to move in while I'm in the process of doing this kick, I can actually strike a little bit with my calf, back of the heel, to try to knock him off balance.